What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz podcast. We in the Fight Cup breaking down UFC San Antonio, Sandhagen versus Chito Vera, Holm versus Yana Santos, and every fight else on this card that's worth a damn. But as always, go down, likes and subscribe, comment your favorite part of the card, comment whatever the fuck you feel like. These are your hosts. I'm Paul. Pick a win, I'm Concha. I'm joined with.
It is I, Kev. I picked Chito Vera, boy. What's good with y'all, man? It's the Totally Blitz podcast, you feel me? And Paul, I did something. I be doing a lot when it comes to UFC recently, and I was wrong. Can't bet it all. I'm glad I didn't bet the house on it, but I thought about it.
I'm happy I bet on Sandhagen. I like the odds are a pickle. I was like, oh, I'll take that. I love Sandhagen.
Nice. I mean, I respect it. I'm glad you made some money that night. It is what it is. Fuck him. How did you rate the card?
Fucking like 4. Fucking this card got like a 3. Bro, that shit, I would have, bro, like when we were breaking down the card, I was like, without Marlon Vera and Cory Sandhagen on this card, like this card is doo doo. Like I don't know how you can put this in a stadium, let alone the AT&T Stadium or the AT&T Center. Like this is
crazy. That's crazy. In the Alamo.
But I would say maybe the fans loved it because San Antonio, all they watch is the Spurs basketball, one of the most boring basketballs, the most fundamental, boring, stick to the basics basketball there is. And like this card was exactly that. Grind them, boring, basic.
Facts. I give it a 5.5. I'm a different breed. It is what it is, though. Time to get into some fight shit, though. I know you saw Fight of the Night.
The Pineda versus Lutz, however you say his last name.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, that was the Fight of the night. Them boys got 50 bands. It was a cool fight. My boy, it's guillotine season, Paul. How many times do I gotta tell you this shit, man? My boy got the smooth guillotine. And don't get me wrong, I feel like Lutz had terrible movement. If comedian Romeo Mack was here, he would say, let's definitely skip BJJ practice. You could tell. Pineda, on the other hand, did his motherfucking thing. He caught the guillotine on. I want to say that his back was on the cage. He caught the guillotine, made the small moves, and then Lutz just got to a point where I was like, oh fuck. He had him damn near. You know when you get the guillotine on a motherfucker, you got upside down for a second. It wasn't long or nothing like that, but it was enough to be like, oh, this shit is tight. And that boy Lutz said, he hit the quick tap.
And even on the feet, I mean, Pieta got the knockdown, dropped his ass. So, like, I mean, even if you're skipping BJJ class, buddy, you also skipping striking class. What the fuck you doing? Because you did not look good for the main card first fight.
Pineda nice with it. I like to see him. I'd like to see what he can do in the future.
Another featherweight. I mean, that one was it 135. I didn't know it was Volkanovski's division. That featherweight division.
145.
145. They're getting deep, bro. They're getting deep more and more. I mean, Canada's been around 28 and 14, but like even the gatekeepers are
like, they're starting to say featherweight is going to be able to challenge lightweight after because lightweight's starting to become a little top heavy.
Yeah, and especially with the lightweights, I mean, but like fucking Gaethje versus Dustin, like all the top lightweights are gonna be fighting each other again instead of like newcomers. So like lightweight is kind of like stalled right now.
On to the card though. What fight would you want to start with first? Because I know how you loved all of them.
I want to say the only one that really, the first one that actually gave me the only reason why this ain't a 2 was because there was 2 fights that I thought were good. Like, and I gave each of them a 2. And so that's why it's a 4 right now. So like Nate the Train getting the submission over Austin Lingo. This is a fight I said was gonna be probably fight of the night. It wasn't, but it's still one of the few finishes on the card, and let alone like my boy Nate the Train Lanier, boy, he did it. That's my dog. I don't know why. There's always kind of been fuck with him these last few fights. He's just kind of entertaining.
I was watching that one, but I was watching that one. I also was half sleep as that one was going. So drop some gems on me. What the fuck happened?
He kept him with the leg kick. Kept using the leg kick. It was only a 2-round fight, but kept using the leg kick, opening up other shots. Other guy was, I mean, Lingo was answering his shots too. Was competitive in the first round, but then but Nate gets the takedown in the second round. Once he got the takedown, took the back rear naked choke, submitted him right before the because it was like 4 minutes into the second round. So it was like almost before the bell was gonna go. So like I mean, really good showing, and I mean Nate, he came off like a big win against a super great prospect. I'm really blanking on his name right now, but fuck, because that was such a great. Cause that's when I first heard of him, and then he just follows it up going up against at the time 9-1 Austin Lingo, who's not a bad fighter himself, but Nate the Train. You either get out of the way or you're gonna get hit by it. So
Respect. What's next for my boy?
I mean, he's another featherweight fighter. I mean, I don't know where he can kind of go to because he's unranked, I believe, too. So like his next fight, I think he probably will be wanting to crack that top 15.
And if you've seen his post octagon interview, that boy was like, yeah, flexing the bicep, talking that shit. I don't know. He might be the next motherfucking dickhead to really take on Mike over there at featherweight.
I can't remember a guy. I remember I was hyping up to you. It was a card that we watched together, not together, but on the live stream. And it was the guy was at Congo or something, undefeated, super strong, like great BJJ. And then Nate just worked him and got the finish. So like ever since then, I'm like he's been on my radar. Oh, he was on the Chito Vera card, the Dominic Cruz Chito Vera card that last fight. And that's when I first saw the Nate the Train, and I've been a fan ever since.
Something you have to start practicing is remembering motherfuckers. If your fight wasn't good or there wasn't a finish, maybe even sometimes there are finishes, I don't be remembering for real. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Bro, there's like 15 fights on the card. I don't blame you. There's so many names to remember, so many different weight classes. Some people the same last names.
And we be fucking drunk.
That's true. But did you want to talk? I mean, we kind of have to, but I guess we can make it quick. The Holly Holm boring ass fight against Yana Santos. I think we were both all over Holly Holm here. Like 30-27, 30-27, 30-26. Like Holly Holm literally
30-26. Fuck.
And and it was 4 or 6 takedowns, 10 minutes control time, grinded her, worked her, got the clinch work in. I said it was gonna be boring. I guess it was more exciting than what it was because I thought it was gonna be nothing but clinch work. But there was actually legitimate takedowns, and Yana just looked too comfortable being on her back. I know you're good at BJJ, but Holly Holm is strong as like you weren't getting up.
Yeah, Holly Holmes beat the fuck out of her. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shit. It wasn't like ass whooping, but that shit was just an outclass, not even close. 10-8 rounds. I agree with it. But I mean, it's cool. The coolest thing about this fight is the fact that Holly Holmes is 41 years old doing what she just did. I don't care who she's fighting against. 41 is like a fucking, she damn near, the second she retires, she's going straight to the Hall of Fame. They're like, yeah, we already had your stuff already ready to go.
Her resume, bro, she could be, it's arguably like, because I know people are gonna say Valentina Shevchenko is gonna have the greatest like fighting resume of like any of these women MMA fighters because like she has all those kickboxing awards, all those other awards. Like she has trophies on trophies, gold medals, she has all that. That's cool. But Holly Holm may be the best American because of the fact that like she's a legend in boxing. She's actually ranked like I think I want to say some people don't like him but BoxRec, one of the biggest boxing things in the world, like biggest website by far. They have Holly Holm ranked as #1 greatest of all time women's boxer, which is kind of nutty. But like she's like that. So that like she has that resume and to be doing it at 41, she ain't winning a belt. Let's slow our roll. But like she's doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny on putting respect on just American fighters in general. I always feel like it's just not normal. We're all American, right? But like we see those flags, and it's just I don't know that motherfucker. We're not from the same place. But when we talking greatest all time, America, man. But yeah, shout out Holly Holm. I hope she has another fight. hope she has another fight or two in them. She's probably gonna keep going until somebody knocks her the fuck out type shit. But it's interesting. It's quite interesting to see her just doing what she does at 41 years old.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if she retires soon. We'll just get a couple more dubs, go out on top.
Yeah,
But
keep getting paid. Enjoy training camp.
true. And in our main event, the one that I think was really the only fight that was putting asses in seats, selling tickets for this not pay per view, but fight night. Chito Vera versus Cory Sandhagen, where my boy Cory Sandhagen went out there and put the work on Chito Vera. And I mean, 50-45 or 45-50, 46-49. And then that one scorecard having Chito up 48-47 for it to be a split decision instead of an unanimous decision, which I think is crazy. Kev, you chose Cheeto. Let me hear your did you think he put in enough work to win the fight? Like that did you see a 48-47 for Cheeto? Or was it did my boy
Hell no.
all right.
Hell no.
I know you were
Nobody
Cheeto.
besides that judge saw 48-47 for Cheeto. And that judge also gave Cheeto all three of the last rounds.
That made no sense.
Thing. That's terrible. But the judging, they have to get that fixed. And the more they fuck up, the more they can scream like, yo, something has to change. It's cool. Fuck them. Fuck the judge. Yeah. They gotta do better on that one. Because every week. Did you see Cory Sandhagen's face when he seen that? He was like, the fuck?
He turned his head. He said he was getting the TJ Dillashaw PTSD fight. Like he got because in that fight he got split decision, lost to TJ Dillashaw. So when he heard that first card go to Vera, he was like his PTSD kicked in from that TJ Dillashaw fight.
Fucking comedy, but that's what happens. Sandhagen is the truth though. He is versatile. He can do a lot of things, and he knows how to fight on the outside.
I love the uppercut he kept throwing. He kept catching Chito with this nice little uppercut, and it usually would come after like a 1-2, and then all of a sudden this looping uppercut from like all the way from his hip almost, and it would catch him. But his pace, his volume, the combos, everything he throws at you is an issue. Like the fact that he started wrestling to start the fight, getting an easy takedown in the first round, controlling him, dropping elbows, held him down for about like 3.5 minutes. I don't know, but he held him down for most of the round in that first one. Then the second round, what happened? Sandhagen again's like walking him down. And like Cheeto's kind of trying to throw something on the back foot, but Sandhagen's connecting, landing as he's walking forward, shoots another takedown, takes him down, starts landing again. Chito tried to land a guillotine, wasn't locked, kind of tired himself out maybe a little bit. But like Sandhagen's on top, and they said at this point in the second round, the moment they got up with like 50 seconds left in the second round, the strike difference was 110-13. Sandhagen was just straight up whooping his ass those first two rounds, and in the third round, I could kind of give it to him because it was kind of even. Sandhagen was landing a little bit more, like he was controlling the fight, what it felt like. But Chito's shots probably were the harder shots. Chito was starting to land a 1-2 here and there, starting to actually use some body kicks. So I could give that to him, but then that fifth round when Sandhagen got another takedown to close the fight out, like I was just like, oh yeah, like Sandhagen, without a doubt, this is his fight. He's won this. Like his pace, volume. Now that he has the wrestling issue, and he started using the wrestling, which opened up the flying knee. Because the moment you got to stop the takedown, that flying knee may come into it. Didn't catch Chito this fight. But he might catch someone down the road because that's the setup. He almost did it twice. Like the setup is there. And my only issue with Chito was he's just been the same fighter for the past like 2 years. He hasn't upgraded. He hasn't gotten better. He's relied on his power. And Dominic Cruz outlanded him. Old as fuck on his way out with no chin. Like the signs are there. Like fucking Rob Font outlanded him almost like 2-1. But just because he got knocked, just because Chito could rely on his power, it worked against these older fighters. When you start talking top 5 contenders and all these other great things, like I don't know how Cheeto's really fair. That's been my stance on it the whole time. I don't think he's that upper echelon fight for a title type of guy. I've been saying that, but maybe he can if he upgrades, if he actually starts showing more things. And my two things I would say that he needs to do is throw more shots. He only throws a 1 and 2. He never throws 3, 4, 5, and he doesn't let his hands go. Which like not I don't mean throw the combos like I just said. I mean like you're a hard hitter. Sometimes duck your head and walk in and throw a shot. Like you weren't doing that at all with Sandhagen. You're kind of allowing him to walk you down. Like you gotta Mike Bisping said it best. You gotta bite your fucking mouth guard and just fucking start throwing some shots at this point. But he wouldn't let his hands fly until late in the fifth round where he clipped him. There was only 30 seconds left, and there was nothing left he could do really. But that was my whole take on it. That like I really sat there and watched. I was just fight a couple of times because I actually found a little place I could rewatch it. And Sandhagen, I think this is gonna be a Sandhagen run right here. I think because like if he has to fight O'Malley, I like him over O'Malley. If he has to get the rematch with Jan, I kind of, I think he's upgrading. I think he's coming back stronger.
You need to see Marab. He wants Marab.
All right, I was just pump the brakes, Sandhagen. I'm gonna have to talk to you because I don't know. Morale's one wrestling. He did say that, but Morale's one wrestling motherfucker. But Sandhagen, all that flashy shit's cute. Tell someone he's mauling you 40 times in a fight.
My boy said he'll get out there with O'Malley. But if O'Malley's smart, he'll just sit down. He'll just sit on and wait for his title shot. Or he's gonna get out there with Marab. He needs to do it by September 1st because he's getting married. And his wife would be mad if he was at training camp during on wedding day.
Damn. I mean, well, no, Marab's not gonna really. I was gonna say, if you find someone that can really break your face, you're gonna be showing up to wedding all busted up. But Marab's is just gonna be a wrestler. Like he's not gonna. You're not gonna have. You might have a couple cuts and bruises, but you're not gonna be really.
His wife might leave him.
Nah, but hey, that would be a great fight. I mean, I might be counting out. Sandhagen just shows he can wrestle, but I don't know if you can wrestle for real like that. Like Marab's a different wrestler, so I like we'll see.
But my take on this fight is pretty good. I mean, I didn't have the respect that I should have had for Sandhagen because he's a very complete fighter. He's a very versatile fighter. He's very smart, very technical. He kept the distance because he saw that he knew Tito was bad at closing distance, so he wasn't going to close it for him. He also said that his best take was on Chito's strategy. So Dana White said he looked slow and he started off slow in this fight. He even said that he started off slow in the Cruz fight. So like Tito just starts off slow, and then Chito and Sandhagen was like, "That's a terrible strategy. If you're just planning on in a 5-round fight, you lose the first 2, that means you have to win the next 3 or rely on your power." And me being somebody that expected it to go exactly like this, I'm thinking, hey, this is the time that you let them things go. You let that kick go. You do this, you do that, you set it up, you download it. You downloaded his data in the first 2 rounds. Now let's go ahead and start AI chat GPT in this motherfucker. But Chito just never let that thing go for
him. And I feel like that. Yeah, that's my one thing. Like, let your fucking hands go, Chito. It almost reminds me of Uriah Hall in his prime. Because I remember whenever you asked me about Uriah Hall, and I was like, one thing people always say about Uriah Hall is like he had haymakers, but he would just be holding. His biggest enemy was himself because he would never throw them.
That's crazy.
And that's what I've made a comparison. I think Chito's gonna be the Jorge Masvidal of this division, bro. I really do. He's gonna be the fan favorite. Hopefully, the fans don't turn on him like a lot have with Jorge Masvidal. But like he beat a lot of older competitors, like Jorge did on his come up. He did beat Sean O'Malley. It was kind of a fugazi, no contest. Some people wanted to be, but he still got the win on the record books. And
oh, really? I thought Sean O'Malley lost that fight.
No, that's what I'm saying. He did, but that's when Chito got a win over Sean O'Malley. Just like Jorge got a win over everyone at the time's fan favorite, Darren Till, who was also in his prime. So, like as I said, like I think he's gonna have a similar resume to Jorge Masvidal, as in like, yeah, he's a great guy, but once he started to crack that top 5 and he had to run into those top 4 other guys, he wasn't like that. I just don't think Chito's at that level. Maybe he can upgrade, but that's just my take. I just don't think that's been my take this whole time with him since the jump. Was like I love like he has the hands, but like ever since I saw Rob Font piece him up, I was just like, bro, like he's not like he just has heavy hands. That's all he got. Like, but technically,
Oh,
he gets hit more than he hits people, and that's a problem when you're in the top five.
unusual.
But
But
yeah, I would say we can wrap up this card. This card was kind of like we gave it this best breakdown we could. Like the card was. I think our breakdown was better than the card in some aspects. Real, but what you want to talk about some other news stuff before we hopped on? We said, hold on, save it for the pod. What was it, Kev?
all right, so I just want to talk about news around the motherfucking MMA.
On the octagon.
Shout out Bourbon and Bud podcast. I was just watching that shit earlier, and they was talking some shit. They just have who they have, the Brick,
Jimmy Flip.
Frick. Yeah, so yeah, they had him out there. Go check that out.
Shout out Bourbon and Bud podcast.
Definitely, them boys is the truth. But that's some shit that's been catching eye because like I can't wait for 286 because this year, I was wondering why there's no UFC this week because why is everybody already talking Izzy Alex and I was like, what's going on? And I remember then I found out it's Wrestle Motherfucking Mania.
Grandest stage of them all.
I was like, oh, I forgot Dana White and Vince are like this, so they would never.
They don't compete.
No, sir, they would never. Not the same weekend.
Actually, this last year I knew a couple of the fights. This year I don't know actually any of the matches that are going on this year. I know Roman Reigns will be that motherfucker. Seth Rollins has been that motherfucker. He a hitter.
I heard they got a lot of good stories going on right now. I mean, I subscribe to this channel called Wrestle Talk. So now I'd be like deep late night. I'd be deep into the top tens. They're like the
no, I point for a couple of like 2 wrestling channels I follow. WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. They shout out them boys. They be going hard.
I forgot about WrestleMania. I'm gonna go watch some boys tonight. But so yeah, I'm a little deep into it, but not too deep to know what the fuck's going on. I watched I missed the men's Royal Rumble because they started the show with it, but I watched the women's on some crazy shit. That shit was lit though.
Quality.
But definitely gonna be tapped into WrestleMania on Sunday. See what the fuck they got going on. Maybe Pat McAfee might fight again.
We'll see. That'd be kind of dope. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, but maybe they're not gonna do the same shit twice.
But imagine being Pat McAfee. You could say you wrestled with Stone Cold and Vince McMahon at their last WrestleMania.
So far, and Austin, Texas. Yeah. It was in Texas at least because Rattlesnake was there.
Yeah, so that's just a vibe. What fights are coming up? Oh, definitely can't wait for Alex and Izzy next week. That's gonna be a fucking my gosh.
Izzy, Jorge Masvidal, who we were talking about earlier, Gilbert Burns. Actually, the closer this fight gets, the more people are saying it might be a close one.
I motherfucking bet. I hate ass motherfuckers.
Leach got a spine injury. Got to talk about that. Leach got a spine injury. He had to fall out. Michael Chiesa could have fought Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee just got signed to the UFC again. Shout out Kevin Lee. And he said he'll come in and take up the fight so the card can continue. And Chiesa said nah. And Kevin Lee posted about it on Instagram. And I was just like, bro, Chiesa is like old as fuck. Like he's like Dominic Cruz age type shit. Like I think he could be fucking announcing on the side with it. Like, and you're telling me like, you're just not going to take the fight. Like, I understand these are not the same fighters and shit, but you're not going on no title run. Like, you should take the fight, right? Just put it on for the fans that are going. Do it for the people. But nah. Kevin Lee was trying to do it for the people. So,
for the people.
It has nothing to do with us going. It has nothing to do with that.
But that shit's going to be lit. Who was it? Josh Emmett Ilitopuria just got announced.
Yeah, Ilia Topuria could pick between 2 fighters, Emmett and Ortega. He picked Emmett.
I would have took Ortega. That's kind of like
not a banger, but I think he thinks Emmett's gonna be the easier fighter. Well, that'd be a good one. I think this is the fighter in Emmett's in a little while that's actually more level with Emmett's height, and he can actually might be able to bang more.
I'm about to say until he feels how heavy them hands is. He's like, I would have rather went to T-City.
Boxing wise, or no? I'm trying to think. I don't know any other big MMA fights.
Yeah, we gonna wait on it. You know how that goes. boxing. Benavidez versus Plant was lit. But
Holloway, Arnold Allen and Max Holloway are fighting at that's gonna be a good one coming up. But Moicano, Armin Zoyukian, that one just got announced.
Yeah, that's lit.
Armin Zoyukian is a killer, bro. I love Moicano, but Moicano really be getting in the ring with absolute killers. Oh shit. UFC 288 is super deep. I didn't even realize that.
It's super cheap.
Super deep. We got Aljamain versus Cejudo, Oliveira versus Dariush, Jessica Andre versus Zanon, Bryce Mitchell versus Pierce, Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain.
Oh wow. That's fine, man.
Yeah, I have no other news though than that.
So that's great to that's been the breakdown, man. We got that's been the recap. Chito Vera versus motherfucking Cory Sandhagen. We know Cory Sandhagen is an issue. He's a problem. Don't want to fuck with him. He's unfuckwittable, so please don't try to play him. And Chito Vera versus Jan. That's my pick for next fight. But it's been a good one, man. Totally Blitz podcast. I'm in this bitch with Paul Pick'em winning concert. It's your boy Kev Waterboy Savoy, and we're gonna catch you on the boxing episode, the football episode, the basketball episode. Stay tuned, motherfuckers. We got shit coming, so fuck with us, man.
Measurements, plug here, let them in, passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box, we not batting. Then my gang got tools, you can call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes, this ain't not new. And then see some accent, all I say is true.